This meeting is being recorded.
So welcome to everyone who's watching. This is episode number 2 in Kahuakai, The Journey, meeting displaced Polynesians who live on the mainland and no longer in Hawaii, which makes some people wonder, but there's a good reason. And we're going to find those out as we go. I am here today with Stacy Lehuanani Torres, who lives in Des Moines, Iowa.
What's up?
And we'll start at the very beginning, Stacy. Where were you born?
Born on the island of Oahu at Kapiolani Hospital.
Okay, so you guys were living where at that time?
I'm sorry?
Where were you guys living at that time?
I think downtown somewhere, but I don't remember that.
Okay. So where did you go elementary school?
Elementary school was Alva Scott up in Aiea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then went to Aiea Intermediate, and then finally graduated Aiea High School.
Okay, so did you guys live then in the Aiea area?
Correct. Aiea Heights, up in the mountain. So my dad basically had us catch the bus in the morning, catch the bus at night, but because we live up in the heights, we have to walk halfway up the mountain. So yeah, that's how I got my big calves.
The bus only went so far.
Exactly. Yep.
Right on.
The city bus anyway, you know.
Yeah. Did you live anywhere else besides downtown in Aiea in Hawaii?
Yep. Down on the west side, Nanakuli.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
There's a woman who lives in San Francisco now. She's back in Nanakuli right now for just a little recreation time. She's been sending pictures. Bobby Lawler. I almost got to meet her when I went to Hawaii in June because she works at the airport. So
Oh, nice.
I missed her shift by about 2 hours. So she was home and I was at the airport waiting my turn to get on the plane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then my dad taught at Nanakuli High for a while in the early 70s. So, but we lived in Waianae for a lot of that time. So, well, actually, no. You remember B&K store?
Yep.
He lived about half a block west of there, right on Farrington Highway. So.
Oh, okay. My kid's dad is their family, and he basically grew up on Farrington Highway, right across the street from Hakimo. It's the intersection of Hakimo and Farrington.
Oh.
Hakimo Road. Yeah, and then across the street from their house is a beach called Puka Pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you lived in Des Moines how long now?
Moved up here in 97, so 25 years now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I came up here is because my mom moved up here in 95, and she brought my brother and my sister with her because they were still teenagers. So they came up in 95 because she was in a tough situation. She had a friend up here in Iowa, because everybody always asks, why Iowa? You moving from Paradise to Iowa? Like what? You know? And I'm like, yeah, my mom, you know, and that's usually the case, you know, family or, you know, maybe schooling and stuff like that. But for me, it was my mom, my sister, and my brother. I don't know my biological father, so she's basically all I have, you know what I mean? So I decided to move, came up here, hated it because it was too much of a culture shock. I left Paradise and came up here, and it was right at the end of winter. So no leaves on the trees, was still bull ahead. was real cold, and yeah, I did not like it at all. I stayed for 3 months, ended up moving back, but 6 months later, I ended up coming back. Um, just family is very important to me. So
Now, 25 years ago, you get to Des Moines.
yeah.
Besides your family, were there any other local people that you met up here?
Oh, yes. We started eventually. At first, we didn't know anybody, but we were the first people that we seen. We went to the grocery store, and in the other aisle, we could hear them talking pidgin. And we ran around to the next aisle and we was like, "You guys from Hawaii?" And they was like, "Yeah, how you know?" We was like, "Well, we just heard you say, hey, get over here, before you get lickings." And, it was cracking up. I was like, oh my God. So, yeah, so it started off from there. And then we ended up going to like out of town, and we bumped into this guy named Chris Keahi. And he had a Hawaiian group that he started here called Kama'aina Club. And from there, we started meeting a lot of other local Hawaiians.
Now, was that like a social club, kind of like DSO?
Yes.
Or?
Yep.
Okay.
And it was like a Facebook thing. So there is a Kama'aina Club on Facebook that is, just like the Frozen Ohana, but that this one is only in Iowa. But yeah, we started meeting a lot more Hawaiians and stuff like that. And then Facebook is where I connected with a lot more.
You talk about being in that grocery store and hearing the people in the other out talking pidgin. I can think back to where every once in a while you just see some little thing or hear something, and you're 95% sure they're local.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One or two times I made A because I've been wrong, but other than that, even when I go someplace where the food is kind of similar, like United Noodle used to have a thing in the middle where they made musubi and had noodle soup and stuff, and you'd see some people that you just go, I bet you. So you start focusing in, on something, and then you kind of go, okay. Then Shane, you go introduce yourself once you're sure.
Right?
Wow,
like me, I don't no shame, I just approach anybody like, hey, what's up? Even when you're driving down the street, you see one, Hawaii sticker or whatever on their car, and we start honking horns, busting the shaka. Then when they don't shaka back, you're not from Hawaii.
They must be borrowing the car.
Or visit, they must have visited at some point, and loved the islands.
Yeah. So currently, what do you do for a career in Des Moines?
Right now, I actually serve at a restaurant called Ku Basil. It's a Thai cuisine, but they also have Chinese and Japanese sushi. It's a sushi restaurant as well. So something that I don't think
fairly authentic, or
some of it is not all of it, because we're in Iowa. There is, they try to make it what do you call it, Americanized. But for the most part, it's authentic. The Thai food, they got stir-fried dishes, it's pretty good, and it's very popular. So the next time you come to Des Moines, you got to come check us out. But this is a job that I don't think I would have ever done because I don't have a lot of patience. My kids was like, what? You're serving, Mom? I'm like, yep. But I am a people person. So I guess it works out,
Yeah. And you only need the patience, if the customers, I guess, aren't
right.
acting right, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool, cool. Now, what are some of the things you do for recreation in Des Moines?
For recreation, well, we go bowling, we go watch movies, but like during the summertime, we try to get together as much as possible and grill out with all our family, all our friends, all the Hawaiians, of course. We all get together and drink and eat and have a good time. We play bags. We play bags. We do beer pong. We something always active. But it's a good time when we all get together.
Yeah. I know it took me a while. I moved to Fairmont in late 2009 on December 23rd of all time. So came straight smack dab into a snowstorm. And for me, winters, I got to actively go look for stuff to do.
Right.
I keep an eye on DFO calendars, and like when we had the thing where we all came down last year to Des Moines, that was nice. I wish we should probably try and do it again. Hopefully, when the weather's kind of somewhat travelable,
Yeah.
because I hate
That
driving
was
in snow and
actually
ice.
really fun, with all us hanging out at the hotel. Something so simple as us being around um the fire pit. We had good food that was left over from the gathering and stuff like that. But all
Yeah.
of us together just talking story and enjoying each other. It
Yeah.
was a good time.
And then I guess I didn't make it, but it looked like people gathered after the August thing,
Yeah, the
the
Asian
hotel
Fest
or something. Yeah.
celebration.
No, no, no. When we
Which
went
one?
to the one Matt had at the park in the pavilion in August.
Oh, the Minnesota one.
Yeah.
That was the 20th annual gathering for the Frozen Ohana. And
Yeah.
that was a pretty big gathering.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
A lot of people. In fact, after the fact, I don't remember if I saw her and just didn't remember, but one of my relatives, so-called relatives, was there. They live in St. Paul, so
Oh, nice.
I went up about 3 weeks ago, and we met at Warren's place, on a Hawaiian place, and had something to eat and got to meet her. So, but local style, you have relatives floating out there that you know
Yep.
30,
Yep.
40 years you never met them one time.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy because the world is small. We moved from the islands, which is to us was big back then, but when we moved to the mainland, we're like, wow, Hawaii really is small. But you're in, like, I'm in Iowa. I had a classmate that came up to Iowa and we met at Ilima's house and I was just in shock. Like, how? You know what I mean? We're 3,000 more, almost 4,000 miles away and we meet at the same place. Like, what?
Yeah. You figure, I mean, look at all the zip codes available in the nation, and for both
Right.
of you to be in the same one at the same time, it's like,
Exactly. It was pretty cool.
because you figure too, she could have been 4 or 5 years away from you in school, and you wouldn't have even known each other at all. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so somebody from your circle, years go by, and then boom, all of a sudden, you guys
Yeah.
hook up in the same place again. It's definitely wild that way. Let's see. Um, Share with us some reasons or memories that support why you live on the mainland now and not in Hawaii.
Well, so when we moved up here, when I first moved up here, I only had Isaac. So he was my only child that was born on Oahu. And when we moved up here, he was 3 years old. And then we stayed for 3 months, went back. I got pregnant with Stacia. And then 6 months later, I came back. So she was made in Hawaii, but she was born in Iowa. So anyway, the
Have to
reason
put a little
why,
sticker on her.
yeah, and she swore up and down to my grandma, may she rest in peace, but she says, I'm Hawaiian. I was made in Hawaii. I'm Hawaiian. So anyway, but we chose to stay in Iowa and live in Iowa and raise our kids in Iowa because the cost of living is amazing. It's so
That's a big
cheap to
one,
live
yeah.
here in Iowa. Yep. Food is cheap. Housing is cheap. Something that we could never do in Hawaii was to buy a house. But up here, it's possible. We did it. Even my daughter did it. She bought a house at age 19.
Wow.
Yeah. And, that's opportunities that we would never have down in Hawaii.
Yeah. So now Isaac is how old?
Isaac is 28.
And he lives close to you, or?
Oh, yeah. He lives right next door to me. I live in an apartment complex, and he just moved in October. So we live side by side.
Okay. Is he
Yeah.
starting his own family yet, or?
No, not yet. Not yet. But he's doing really good right now. I'm very proud of him. And then my daughter, she literally lives maybe 7 minutes away from me, her and her family. So I do have a grandson. He
Wow.
just turned 5 years old. His name is Ryder Kainalu.
I saw you feeding him musubi on a video.
Oh yeah, he loves spam musubi. He could eat that every day if he wanted to.
And
His
so,
his
and I,
middle name is Kainalu, which means the waves or billowing ocean, and he absolutely loves the water. If he sees the water, he's in it and don't want to come out. I
now
can't wait to take him to the beach.
Has Ryder been to saltwater yet?
Not yet, but we're going next year.
Oh, right on.
Yep. So I'm excited to take him to the beach.
So you mentioned Isaac, Stacia, and then I know Peter Boy.
Yep, Peter Boy. Peter Boy's my youngest.
So 3 you have.
Yep, 3 kids. Yep.
Okay, right on. Let's see. So of your 3 kids, Isaac was born there.
Yep.
Stacia was made there.
Yep.
Has Peter Boy ever been to Hawaii?
He has.
Okay.
So we went down in 2016, and he loved it too. We, the beach, the food, met up with my brother and his family, I still have a lot of family members down in Hawaii too, cousins, aunties, uncles.
Yeah.
My grandma and my grandpa passed away, so no grandparents there, but everybody else, but all my friends too. A lot of my friends actually moved to the mainland too. A lot of them is in Vegas, the 9th island.
When was the last time your mom was home?
She actually went, when was it? August, September? No, I think she went September. She stayed for a month because her sister has breast cancer. So she was helping her go through the beginning stages of the chemo and radiation and stuff like that. So it was a tough time for her sister. It's my mom's younger sister. She lives on Maui. So she went for a whole month and basically helped her through that. And she was a blessing. My mom is awesome.
You have siblings?
Yep. My sister lives here with her family. Her name is Leanne. And she came up with my mom. They came up in 95 and they're still here. Her husband, James, is from Iowa. So she wants to move back, but he's like, no, we got to stay here. So it's a constant battle.
Now, has Jim at least visited Hawaii?
Yes.
Okay.
A few times. Yep.
But he's one of those where he can take it or leave it.
Yeah. He's an Iowa boy, so but he loves our culture, he loves our food. I mean, who doesn't, love Hawaiian food? And we go all out, so he loves it. The only thing that he doesn't really eat is the poke because it's straight raw fish, you know. But we're working on that because he's starting to try the sushi rolls and stuff like that. So pretty soon, pretty soon.
Little by little,
Yeah,
slowly reel them in.
exactly.
I just had this thought cross my mind because I think back and almost every time I've seen you in person, you wear the flower.
Yeah,
You wear your flower to work?
I sure do. Yep.
Do people ask about it?
Yes. They ask if it's real because it actually looks pretty real, the plumeria. So I
Yeah.
explained to them I'm from Hawaii and they asked to touch it. And then I was like, yeah, you can touch it and stuff. And then they asked the famous question is, why Iowa? Why did you move from Paradise to Iowa? So I got to explain, you know, and then they understand, you know, mom is important. So, but you know, the funny thing is that my mom don't live in Iowa anymore. She moved to Upper Michigan.
Wow.
Yep, 4 years ago. So she went from snow to plenty snow.
Wow.
Yeah, Upper Michigan snows way more than I think Minnesota.
Now that Upper Michigan general area, isn't that where Wes and Roxanne live?
Roxy.
Yeah.
They live Niles. So you know how Michigan is like a mitt. So
Yeah.
Niles is the bottom. My mom lives on the top, the north.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why it snows a whole lot more up there because it's really close to Canada. Yeah. So Wes and Roxy, they live Niles, Michigan, which is like really close to South Bend, Indiana.
Oh, okay. I got the impression they were more north, but my geography is so lousy. That was one of the classes that I would jump into the back row and sleep behind my book. Especially when you come up here and it's no longer Mauka and Mackay and Diamond Head and Eva, you know, it's like I always
Exactly.
gotta stop and go, okay, where's north?
Yeah.
Okay, so west, east, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now just gotta bust out the phone with the GPS.
That's it, exactly. Let's see. I don't know if we touched on this, but when was your last trip to Hawaii?
2016.
Okay, when you took Peter Boy and
Yep.
yeah.
Because you know we were supposed to usually we go like every 2-3 years, but COVID hit, so it messed up everything.
Okay.
And now you know everything is kind of normal now. You know,
Yeah.
not a lot of restrictions. I'm not sure about Hawaii though, if they still have those restrictions. You know, like
They
the
were
test.
mild when I went home in June. It was, they would ask, they would recommend you wear a mask, but nothing was like you have to, like a law
Yeah.
or anything like that. So, and I don't know if it's gotten any better because I'm trying to go home for a business trip first weekend in March, but golly, it's not like COVID days when you could go home round trip for 200-300 bucks,
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
gotta really plan this out budget wise. So
Exactly. And that's what we got to do too, because we're going in October, next October. So we have a
wow.
whole year to plan and save up, you know. So I told Peter Boy, I said, okay, Peter Boy, when you get paid, you give me $100 every month for your Hawaii fund. He says, oh, mom. I said, what? You like go Hawaii or you like stay back here when we go? Oh, no, I'm going. So yeah, that's
So
motivation.
so you're planning the trip. Who's gonna go besides you and Peter Boy?
Me, my 3 kids, my grandson,
Okay.
um, my boyfriend, my sister guys, and then my friend guys too. So we all going. It's gonna be a big group. All of us is gonna go together. So it should be fun.
So when you take Stacia, her husband's going, and
Yep, her family. Yep.
okay, right on.
Yeah, nobody wants to miss this one.
Now that's also awesome news. Fairly recent. Your boyfriend is he an
Uh-huh.
Iowa native?
Well, he was born in Iowa in Des Moines, and then he grew up in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did you
So,
guys
and then
meet?
he ended up back in Des Moines because his mom had cancer. So he came to help her through that, but she passed away a couple years ago. So
Mm.
he's still going through a rough time.
Oh, it's especially, cancer can be so devastating that it makes the process be worse than it because
Yeah.
just the simple fact of losing a loved one.
Yeah, it's a sad situation.
Where did you guys meet?
Facebook dating.
I didn't even
And
know Facebook dating.
yeah, there's Facebook dating.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
I kind of gave up on, because all these online dating sites is crazy. You don't know who you're meeting, if they're real or not. And I got in this Facebook dating in January, and then, of course, message here and there, whatever, with other guys, but he stood out of the rest of them. And we actually started talking in June, and then we met up in July, and then we just hit it off. He's a
That's
couple years
awesome.
younger than me, very sports related, very family oriented, very he's a hardworking guy and has his own stuff. He has everything that, he doesn't need to depend on me and I don't need to depend on him. So we're close in age and stuff like that, and we really connected immediately. Something
That is
that
awesome.
you don't really get.
Yeah. Now remind me, what's his first name?
Dwayne.
Dwayne. With a UA or a W?
W.
Okay. That's awesome. What does he do?
He is actually a security guard at a college. So he
Okay.
was in the army, and then he was an MP in the army. And then when he got out, he actually was a police officer. Um,
In Des
and
Moines.
then, huh?
He was a police officer in Des Moines.
I don't know if it was Des Moines or North Carolina, because he's also been to Texas as well. So he went down the line, but he said that being a cop was really, really hard because he's seen a lot of, you know, gruesome stuff too, stabbings and shootings. And because he's Black, he also got discriminated against as well. So he decided to leave that career, and now he's a security guard. So, he said the job is easy, it pays well, and he's content. So
Perfect. Can't ask for more than that.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I reached the end of my question list. I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, mahalo.
Sharing life in the big city of Des Moines. Is Des Moines the largest city in Iowa?
It is the capital of Iowa.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And
Because
the
when I was talking
capital
to,
is literally gold plated. I
wow.
think Matt got a video of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I
But
read they also said they got scoldings because you're not supposed to have the drones.
exactly, he got stopped by the troopers. They're like, "Are you terrorists?"
And
Matt's crazy. But that
well,
was a
he's
really
kind of
cool video that
intimidating,
he
so I
did.
would think that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
His size and his bullet head. I know I wouldn't mess with him in a dark alley, that's for sure.
Well, thank you
Well,
again, and can't wait for our next gathering.
me too, me too. Be safe and good progress working toward your trip to Hawaii next year.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Aloha.
Alohas.